Across the line will be automatically qualified to Saturday's final. Then the next three fastest non-auto qualifiers, qualifying times over the three heats. So Shamir, you remember standing out here for this race your freshman year, the only year you lost it, as I recall, to the world record holder in the 100-meter hurdles, I believe.
Yes.
Kenny Harrison.
Yes, I did the double, and I came back and had to do the 400 hurdles. I was nervous. It seems like that was ages ago.
What's going through their minds right now?
Look, let's get this over with. Don't mess up. Get to the finish.
Well, we see that the flags are pretty much straight down, so wind not as big a factor as it was about a half an hour ago while we were watching the 800-meter heats, 200-meter heats, and even for some of the men's hurdle races. Lanes 1 and 2 are open. First two lanes are open, then Reagan Clay of Vanderbilt, then Humphrey of LSU, Wilson of Tennessee, White of Mississippi State, then Journey Woodward, Faith Ross, and Chelsea Zoller on the outside.
Faith Ross in lane 8, getting out really quick over those first three hurdles, but patience on this back stretch as Wilson from Tennessee actually fell in lane 5. Patience on this back stretch is everything.
Ross is leading at this point. Remember, it's the first two finishers automatically qualifying to Saturday's final. Britley Humphrey now making a move through the middle of the second turn and has actually taken the lead. And Woodward now trying to challenge Faith Ross for second place. One hurdle remaining. Humphrey is over easily, as are Woodward and Ross, and Woodward comes off the 10th hurdle better, and it's a 1-2 finish for LSU, and they both automatically qualify through till Saturday's final.
Britley Humphrey ran the first part of that race so patient, and that is something that she told me this morning that she needed to do. She needed to set up the third curve going into that home stretch, and when you are patient, when you see somebody like Ross and your teammate Woodward go out in front of you, you have to stay patient. She's going to come into the screen on the far right, but there she is right there in the purple, and what she did is she used that third 100 as a power, and right here, smooth on your transition and steps. You might go 15, you might go 16, so you just have to make sure that you don't stutter or overstride. Just a smooth technique over those last couple hurdles.
And Journey Woodward just had better momentum coming off that 10th and final hurdle. That is the reason why she got that second spot. So Shamir, you've run this race a bunch of times at the collegiate level as we look at the official results. You know, your technique changes in that last 100 meters, so the way you actually hurdle the hurdle. And it can hurt your momentum sometimes. Have you been working through that issue?
Oh, most definitely. We've been kind of just making sure we're focusing, engaging the hurdle so that when I'm able to take it, whatever leg comes, I'm just able to get over the hurdle as opposed to, kind of thinking about it and trying to make a last-minute judgment call and chopping.
What's one piece of advice that you can give these ladies that are going to transition out of college into the pro ranks that was the most important for you?
Lock in and focus more. You're stepping into a very, very competitive field in 400 hurdles, especially in the USA. So, yeah, my best advice is, just go for it, work hard.
Good advice all the time for no matter what event you're in the sport as we move along to the second of three heats in these 400-meter hurdles. And this is Ashton Lindley of South Carolina in lane number 4.
Just a freshman, another 18-year-old of that next gen, and she's going to be looking out and chasing Masai Russell, Sai, as she is lovingly known by her teammates. Just a sophomore, personal best in this of 56.29.
So it's all about getting those first two finishing spots so you can qualify through to Saturday's final, to South Carolina, to Mississippi State in this second heat. Russell out in lane 7. From the inside, Young of South Carolina, then Lindley, Martin, of Mississippi State along with her teammate Morris, then Russell of Kentucky, Milani of Alabama, and Phillips of LSU on the outside.
Cy Russell out very well for Kentucky. And again, making sure that you attack and stay on the ground. You want to have this little as air time as possible when you're on this backstretch so that you can set up for a little bit of power and slingshot off this curve.
Leah Phillips is in the lead currently out in lane 9.
Look at the stride length difference between Phillips and Russell. Far left of your screen.
Phillips now starting to run out of gas, and Russell picking it up first over hurdle number 9. Now Phillips has to try and hang on as a move is now being made by Ashton Lindley in lane 4, but she's not going to be able to make up the distance. It's going to be Russell with the win, Phillips with second place. They will automatically qualify through to Saturday's final.
Masai Russell did a really nice job running that last curve, and that sets you up to come into the home stretch and have a little bit more control. Look at her second from the left in the white. Look at her strides. Do you see how she keeps them very smooth? Technique over these last 3 hurdles is everything. You want your arms in tight, and you just want to keep that nice, smooth run through the hurdle. They are only 30 inches. They're very low. You can almost step over them, but you are dead tired, and you've got to make sure you lift your knees.
So Russell and Phillips automatically qualifying through to the final on Saturday. The bubble time right now, 59:50. So Shamir, do you think it's a huge advantage to be in the last of these heats when you've seen already what the athletes in front of you have run, or do you not even pay attention to that?
Kind of don't pay attention to that, because at the end of the day, you still have your own race to run, so you can't get caught up in, you know, what's going on in the heats before you. They have different circumstances, who's on the right of them, who's on the left of them. So yeah, you're going into this meet, you kind of got to focus on yourself and the 10 hurdles that you have in front of you, not what was going on before.
Speaking of focusing on yourself, when I had interviewed you when I was down on the sidelines, and you used to tell me you used to get just horribly nervous. How do you channel that focus into your race?
Kind of just feel like the nervous comes when you have like these doubts or whatever, so I kind of just counter those doubts with some positive thoughts. And what I've been doing, I've laid down a good foundation in my training. My competing, I've been doing very well, so it's kind of like I'm not as nervous. I feel more prepared, so I don't have, of course you get nervous. It's a meet, it's a race, you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but definitely less nerves, or they're more controlled, or it's, you know, different kind of nervous.
Sure.
Just growing up and maturing in the sport. That's
yes,
pretty normal.
Definitely.
Third and final heat of these hurdle preliminaries, and in lane number 5, the freshman from A&M, Dominique Mustin.
First time at the SEC Championships, again, just 19 years old, and behind her in lane 3, Milan Young, another LSU fantastic hurdler for Dennis Shaver. Back in 2019, Young was 3rd at this meet.
There are the lane assignments. The first 2 lanes are open. Young in 3, Mustin in 5.
Set.
From the inside, Milan Young of LSU, then Rosalie Cooper, Mississippi State, Dominique Mustin, then Nia Benton Andrews, Morgan O'Neill, Tyler Colbert, and Vanessa Watson of Tennessee on the outside.
Wow, Milan Young, lane 3, look at her arms. She told me this morning that what she wanted to do was get out and use her arms, and she just didn't want to settle. She said, going through 4, 5, and 6, I need to attack. She's on the far right of your screen in the purple, and she is attacking.
Young in the lead, but Vanessa Watson outside in Tennessee also going well. Now Dominique Mustin gets reattached, but had a really tough 7th hurdle.
Yeah, those arms, you got to keep those arms in.
Meantime, Milan Young just cruises along over 9. Mustin takes it 2nd, and still Vanessa Watson on the outside is in the mix. Young over 10. Mustin now working hard off of 10. It's going to pay off. She's going to get that 2nd automatic qualifying spot. So Young wins the heat, followed by Mustin. And Vanessa Watson wasn't able to keep up the pace. Ends up finishing 3rd with a time that is probably going to make it through as a time qualifier.
Milan Young on the right of your screen in the purple. She also told me the last 3 hurdles, these ones right here, not 8, 9, and 10. She said, whether I'm going 15 or 16, I don't want to get wobbly. I just have to make sure that I have a really smooth, fluid running stride. And she really did. She really didn't have to chop. And then just lift your knees and finish, get into that final, and go reset and work on what you need to work on.
Milan Young winning the heat in 57.88, followed by Dominique Muston 58.50. They automatically qualify through. Vanessa Watson's 58.91 is going to be the last time qualifier, so it was worth it to work as hard as she did off that 10th and final hurdle. Last question to you, Shamira, and I have never seen you run so many open 400s, and that really seems to have given you an amazing amount of confidence.